This week, I'm trying to finish one of 3 paintings. 2 I think are pretty close, and I'll show you those, and another one is sort of in the very messy middle still. I take that painting and I put it in Procreate so you can see what I'm going to try to do. I did a little sketch over the painting, and then we'll try to put some of those things in, and I think we're getting closer, but I'm not quite sure. You can tell me what you think. And thanks so much for joining me. I love having you in the studio on Sunday. It is such a joy to be here, and you help me paint more and more frequently, and for that I cannot thank you enough. And if you're a painter, the big question I have for you this week is, are you an intuitive painter, and do you think I am? And what does that mean to you? I see that bandied about, and in fact when people search my videos, that's what they say, is that they're looking for an intuitive painter, and that's how they find me. I don't think that's what I am, but let's talk about it in the comments. I'm totally interested. And come along, let's paint. So I've been traveling for the last couple of days. I was in Mississippi speaking and at a conference, and all the time I was like driving. It was about a 7.5, 8-hour drive. I was thinking about this painting. So as you know, I'm sort of on this like deadline to get a painting ready to go to be in a show. Gosh, next week. Oh my gosh, next week. And so I've been thinking about this painting because although I like it and I like the simplicity of it, there's not enough going on. And at this point, it's worth messing up to maybe make it better. So I've been thinking about that. I have pretty much decided that these are complete. Here, I can set it up here. I think these are complete. I like the way they look. I actually really like the simplicity of this. Someone had a great suggestion of putting an orange down here, and I might do that. I haven't quite decided, but right now I kind of like the feeling of this, and I like this too. I lightened this, the table portion, and I like it. I like the grapes, I like the bananas, I like the way it looks. So I'm gonna put these down for now. I haven't been in the studio at all, obviously, because I've been traveling, and sort of work on these. So what I did was something I never do. I took the painting and I dropped it into Procreate on my iPad and did a quick sketch of what I was thinking. And I'll drop that in here so you can see what that looks like. And I'm going to go with it. I have this great encyclopedia of cats. And so I'm sort of using one of the cats as the model for this, but just a rough reference. It won't look anything like that cat. Don't promise me. Promise you it won't. But I still kind of wanted to look at what they look like. And then I want to put a house plant over here. I've been thinking about that, and I want to put a window in the back. I think the scale is wrong, but I don't care about that. I kind of like the wonky scale, like it's not correct. So let's just put it in and see what happens. I'm going to do just a rough sketch of it with a Payne's gray and maybe a little bit of white so that it's not too dark, just to get the sketch in and see what we think. Too gray. Let's put some blue. The whole thing is supposed to be, like Picasso's Blue Period. So I'm trying to make this paint a little more blue. I made it too gray. It's just the underpainting of what these will look like. So they don't have to be perfect. So hanging pot. With macrame. This is my thoughts. Some sort of macrame thing. And then of course that would go this, and then there would be one on the side, and then plant. I don't know. I get a lot of searches, like people find my videos because they're looking up intuitive painting. And I don't know if I actually qualify as an intuitive painter. I don't know. And I'm curious if you found yourself here because you were interested in intuitive painting. Do I or do I not qualify as that? I don't know. And I would think an intuitive painter, I mean, this I kind of weirdly planned. And so I don't know if I actually qualify as that, you know? Okay, and this cat. It's not just cat. This table's either very low to the ground or the cat is just massive, which I'm okay with. I do a lot of cats and they've been collected by quite a few people. And I haven't done a cat in a long time. And so that was part of the reason I wanted to do a cat, is like, oh, I haven't done one and I know people like them and I like doing them too. I'm a dog person for the most part, but I like painting cats. I like cats as a I don't know, they have such personalities that are dogs are so like, I love you. So like obvious in their love, and cats are less obvious in their love, and I kind of dig that about a cat, that they're more discerning in who and what they love. So this cat's feet would go down here, and then I thought its tail would sort of whip around here. So you would see the tail underneath. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. And then the window would go about, so it's just the bottom part of the window. And it's only part of the window. And our windows are paned, so do a pane of the window. And then I thought it will be night out there, so that will actually be a dark, this would be a dark blue. All right. Yeah, I do like that. It's just more going on. It's just more interesting. Yeah, I do like this. Let's see if we can get this in here. It's great. So there are blue cats. This is based off a blue Torby, which is not a blue cat. I mean, it's not blue, but they are, that's like a show cat. Like if you do a show cat, you know, I don't know. This is a breed, is a blue Torby. And I thought that was kind of fun that cats have blue. And as you know, the show is supposed to be blue. This seemed like the right thing. So we're just gonna get the rough blue of the cat before we do any of the details. I mean, I know you see sort of my sketch of details, but that was just so I could see what it might look like. And so that all goes away. I know that when I'm painting, a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, you just painted over. Yep, that was just to give me the idea, you know, kind of like if someone would do a charcoal sketch, I just kind of do this paint sketch. And then we really liked the swoop of that tail, so I want to make sure to get that in there. Kind of bleed off the page here so you see like it's much bigger. I get a little bit darker blue for the body so I can differentiate. Let's see, make sure I can differentiate. Yeah, here we go. The tail from the body. And then there will be cute little feet that come out. I love cats' feet. They're just so, they just have such personalities. Cats just have such personalities. Dogs do too. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely a dog person, but I enjoy the sort of the aloofness of cats, I think. You know, they could take you or leave you, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Anyway, so there we go. There's the rough of the cat. Yeah, that's great. That's great. We can go ahead and do those dark windows too, I think. Just gonna go in with a this phthalo blue red shade. I'm really just gonna try to go straight in with that and see if that looks like night, because that's what, oh wow, that's so blue, isn't it? We'll go ahead and use that. We may punctuate that with something else, but it'll be a good start. Skies here, you know, night definitely looks more black, so it might end up that ends up looking more black, but this will be a good underlayer, even if we darken that blue. So already you can see like this painting just has more life, you know, it just has more life. And that, it just makes it more interesting. And you can see my edges are not straight. This, you know, I appreciate all those people who paint meticulously perfect, and I guess I paint more painterly. I guess that could be. You can see I'm like really scrubbing in there with the brush so you can see all of those textures. And when you get near one of my paintings, that is what you see. You see that I've like really tried to get those edges to have line and texture, and the brush strokes are raw and uneven, I guess. Clean that up a little bit, but it's probably too blue, probably, you know, I can tell like that feels too blue to me, but it's a good start. It's like, okay, I see that that's going to be a darker value, and we'll go ahead and we'll have a layer to be able to darken. I've moved you so you're more in line with the plant. And I've taken phthalo green and ultramarine, and I'm just making the stalks. They'll have like heart-shaped leaves, I think, is what I'm going for. But we're just trying to get that initial plant. There would be some coming from the bottom. There might be some, you know, I don't have a house plant like this anymore. My daughter is the houseplant person, but I like houseplants a lot. Our house is somewhat dark. It's was built over, I don't know, 187 years ago, and it was a cottage, and the windows are kind of small. That's why sometimes these videos obviously don't have great lighting, because my studio only has, it has two windows, one that goes to a screened-in porch, and then one small window behind my desk. And so, yeah, great. That looks great. Anyway, and so I don't have a lot of houseplants because they just would not survive if I did. But I thought, that's too light. So I mixed that. Oh, and actually I think they might go the other way. Yeah. So now I've just sort of made a weird leaf shape, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and darken it up. So I like the leaves, but we've lost the pot. It's too close to this. So I'm gonna have to go in there and paint the pot. But let's let that dry a little bit, and that will be something I will have to do. Let's work a little bit on the cat, I think. So I tend to do the big pupil first before I do the cat eye. So all that will have to dry, but it gives me an idea of where I'm going to put it. And I have a very rough, let's see if you can see that, like super rough brush. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but it is really rough. But trying to just get texture in that eye. I have all these little yogurt cups now of blue paint. So I think I'm going to use these, what I have, to see if I can get some, like do the tail, do some of the details. Oh yeah, this brush is great for this, but also never looking for any kind of perfection. Just looking for those marks that are interesting, so that when you go up to the painting, so for me, part of it is when someone goes up to the painting, I want them to feel like they are seeing something, one, that is actually painted, because, you know, we live in this digital world, and there's a joy in my mind to seeing things that are actually made by people. So part of what I'm doing is like really accentuating that my work is done by an actual person. Put some details of some, this already, you can kind of still see the underlayer, and I kind of like that on this, on the cat. I don't want his ears or her ears, their ears. I'm not sure if it's a male or a female. I usually name them. If you want to name this cat, you can name it. I want them, I don't want the ears to disappear into that. So I'm going to have to watch that. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I don't know if you're starting to see it, but that's like, you know, all the marks of the fur. If I were a realist painter, all of those marks would be one by one, and oh, just amazing. Amazing. Not the kind of work I do at all, but I admire it for sure. We'll get in there with smaller brushes to get some of those, the feet, but yeah, I think it's coming along. It's coming along. It's a blue cat. And I think I can use this same brush to get in there to make some changes in there and to make that darker. So let's do that. Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see when it dries. We'll see if that's a better. I might need to then pop out even lighter some of the stems, you know, of the plant. Make that a little bit more obvious. But we'll let that all dry so that we're not like making mud, which it feels a little bit like we're making mud. Hardly ever use these little tiny brushes, but I feel like this is a time to try to do that. I did not like the mouth, so I'll let that dry. See, I just painted right over it. The benefit of this. I'll let that dry. I don't like the eyes either, so, but it's all right. From here they're okay. From here they're okay, but we'll have to play because it became a little muddy. Just trying to really differentiate from the pot. I'm gonna darken up these windows because we're looking for night. And then I think what will happen is I will do either a moon when it dries or a sprinkling of stars. I like the underlayer of those blues, but I added some Payne's gray to that blue and then just making that truly dark. Because, you know, windows at night, so where I live, I don't have a street light. I live in the country, and I have no outside lights. We disconnected all of our outside lights to have true night sky. And so I know what that looks like. It is black. And so trying to get that value of like, it is really night. But then I might, to draw that yellow back, I might put it as little stars. Things I like. I like the house plant. I will probably add the macrame so you get that in a really light white blue. Put that in. I like the cattail. Oh, I love the cattail. If nothing else, I like the cattail. So I'll need to work on the face a little bit. I like the window. I like the way that turned out. And it's coming together a little bit more. Yeah, it is. It's coming to better. It feels better. It feels like a more full painting. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what you think in the comments. That'd be great. And if you found me from intuitive painting, tell me what you think. I don't think it is. I think intuitive painting is like just painting what you feel, you know. And I think this is like painting without a plan. Or loose painting or something more like that. I'm not sure really. But I am thrilled to have you here in the studio, and thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next Sunday.